Hello everybody, my name's Furball and this is my first ever Let's Play video, and today I'm going to be playing Tropico 5. I'm new to Tropico 5 and new to the Tropico series, as well as actually new to streaming, so we're new all around. At the moment I found Tropico 5 to be quite fun to play, intriguing, slightly confusing at some points. So hopefully I'm going to pass on some of the things I've learnt, as well as hopefully be a bit slightly entertaining, and let's get on with the game. I just fired up the character creation screen. This is the model that was there. I don't know, quite like it really. Slightly evil fairy, so we'll keep with Brunilda Paradiso. The only thing I'm going to change is the skill. So you can give your dictator a global skill, which is their own sort of little personal bonus. At the moment we've got agent here, detects hidden roles in Tropico 20% faster. Agitator converts 2 votes when cheating on elections, etc, etc. The one I tend to like is Foreman, because it gives global effectiveness of production buildings is increased by 2, which obviously makes your economy stronger, eventually kind of gives you more money, so it's good all around. I think it's a win-win situation, so let's get into the game.
You know those people who established dynasties, so powerful that their names echo through the centuries. I'm one of them. New world, new opportunities, no limits. This island of mine could become anything. It could be a farmer's heaven, the fields reaching the horizon, and the markets full of people. Or it could be a production powerhouse with chimneys reaching the sky and docks busy with all sorts of exotic goods. Or it could be the paradise on Earth, a magnet for travelers from all over the world, a place for fiesta and fun.
Sir, we're docking the ship, sir.
But now it's just a dirt poor piece of land in the middle of the ocean. Let's make it shine!
So I have had the game for about a week or so. I'm not new to the sort of city builder games or strategy games or such like that. So I played it on medium difficulty. Once I kind of got a bit of a better understanding of certain aspects, I started to find it relatively easy. So I've decided to increase the difficulty to very high in both the economy and political difficulty. I've reduced disasters to rare because they're not a very interactive part of the game really. They are just random events, but I didn't want to disable them totally because certain buildings, fires, disasters produce fires in various ways, and certain buildings such as the police station, you can upgrade them to have a fire brigade, and as far as I can tell you don't get fires any other way apart from disasters, so it would make some upgrades completely redundant, so I've decided to keep some disasters. So let's go and play on Cayo di Fortuna.
Ah, the Caribbean, a lush and untamed land, my new home, beautiful and full of promise. A new beginning far from the politics of the old world, a chance to start fresh and do things my way. I'm tired of the musty weather and the rigid thinking back home. I need a change. I was appointed governor of this island. Not that anyone else wanted the job anyway. My unique approach to government will make this colony the most prosperous in the Caribbean. How hard can it be? You just need some planks, a few nails, and a trusty advisor to shout at.
So a new dawn in paradise.
Welcome to the Caribbean, Governor. Allow me to introduce myself, Lord Oaksworth, His Majesty's emissary to the region.
So if you hear any noises in the background, we have a cat Dave who's currently running all over the house and possibly trashing it. So if you hear any strange noises, jingly bells, crashing, purring, that would be Dave, our cat. So back to the game. So we start off in the colonial era. So we're sort of a protectorate of an empire, should we call it Britain for now, and you don't actually have a date. You start off with a mandate to govern the island, which is currently 3 years. That mandate can be expanded in various ways, which I will actually try to do and prolong my colonial era as much as possible. Important factors of the game: popularity, which is currently 23%. It's one of the sort of intriguing, slightly complicated things which we will kind of go into a bit further later. 70, that's our size of our population, and obviously $10,000, that's how much money we have at the moment. Let's have a look around then. So these little icons are little tasks.
Greetings, old chap. Have I got a deal for you today? As Crown Representative, I can offer you your very own trading license.
So obviously a big part of your economy as an island is trading in and out. Goods come in, goods go out. Goods will automatically be exported, but you do get bonus trade deals as well. I tend to go with a silver package because you start off slow anyway, so you're not going to be building a lot of docks and get a lot of trade deals, so you don't need the additional thing. I could go for the cheap option, but I do try and keep the crown sort of friendly, especially as I'm going to be extending the colonial era, and I don't really know if it has much of an effect, such as if you get more extensions with better relations with the crown and such, but I tend to just stick with a silver package to start with. With that in mind, we'll go straight into trade. So this is the trade offers, and have a look at what's going on. So you have green is input and red is outgoings. As we can see there, we can export wool, and that will give us -10 on the crown relations, or this one here, we can import corn, and that will give us +5 on crown relations. At the moment, I think we'll have a look at the general situation and come back to that in a second. Another task here.
His Majesty needs money to build a new underwater palace. He wants you to begin growing money. I mean, one of those crops that make heaps of cash.
So it seems like a good quest, because a plantation will improve our economy, give us some jobs, and it will help us increase our mandate, which is one of our main goals at the moment. So that now becomes a quest. So let's have a look at building a plantation. So we want to select sugar. So the overlay is obviously, this is the sugar overlay. If you change the thing, that's corn. It gives you the pineapples. So sugar, green is good. Yellow is near, red is bad. I think it's pretty obvious. I think most people, it's an age-old mechanic really. So we want it as kind of green as possible. I think I will put it kind of there, like so. Right. And if we go into here, add a road to it. So these little arrows here, that means it needs connecting to a road. Red means it isn't connected, obviously, and green means it already is connected. So we'll connect this to a road for a start, like so. What I have done there is I've left a space between that and the other plantation, because you do need to transport goods around your island. And if you sort of block yourself off, then you're probably having to sort of destroy things to create a decent network. Now I've done that, what I will do, I'll have a look at, if we start our docks here. So one of the things you can do is you have a budget for buildings, and obviously the higher the budget, the better they perform. The things they do with production, well, most buildings really, anything that produces anything has workers in it. You have job quality, wealth provided, and in this one we have months till the next ship. So currently we have 50 job quality, poor wealth provided, and there is 3 months to the next ship, and it means they come every 6 months. If we upgrade that, we get 75 job quality. It upgrades the wealth provided to well off, and now the ships will come every 5 months. It's kind of, it's very hard to overload a dock, or docks, especially if you build a number of them. But having a regular income rather than constantly dipping into the red all the time is generally a good idea, I think. So it's always helpful to reduce the time before ships arrive. Other core buildings, we have our Teamsters office. This reminds me a bit of Settlers, where you used to have people that would transport goods around the roads for you. You can see the little dudes here, the Teamsters. Maybe they should join the Olympics, how fast they're running there. Maybe do with a small couple of donkeys or a horse or something like that to help them. And we have the construction office, which basically they're your builders. Every time you ask somebody to build something, like here, the construction office has to go and build it for you. So you want those three in particular to be performing as well as possible. What I do tend to do is actually I tend to up the budget on everything, because one of the other things it does is it helps towards your popularity, because the wealthier people are, the better their job satisfaction, the more popular, the happier they are. Really, happier does not always completely equate to popularity, but happy citizens are generally better off citizens. So let's have a look at trade currently. So we can export meat, and that'll give us good standing with a crown. I'll try and go with something that gives us good standing with a crown. Logs or meat is better. So I think we'll try and export some meat. I'm not currently producing any meat, but one thing I have found is that these deals obviously change over time, so I could go and build something that will produce meat, come back to it, and this deal may have gone. So what I tend to do is actually just add the ship to sort of secure that trade deal initially, and then I will go and build a ranch which gives us meat. I will do cattle actually, because that gives us meat and milk. One of the things I don't like, it sort of bugs me, maybe there's a keybind for this, but once you're in here you can't zoom in and out, because the zoom in and out, the mouse scroll spins them round, so I have to get rid of that. Okay, let's bring up ranch. Oh, forgot to do it again, so we'll zoom out a bit so we can see a bit better. There we go. So ranch, cattle, let's put it green over here. So is the arrow's going that way. I'm going to put it up against here, like that. And then we'll build a road to it. Let's go this way. Direct road to the docks as such. Could have built it through there, but it's a much quicker route to the docks there, so it makes it much easier. One of the things you may have saw me do earlier, what you can do is, while it's still under construction, you can go into the budget and upgrade it already, so you don't have to remember to do it afterwards. So let's carry on with that a bit, and then hopefully we'll be producing some cattle, thus some meat. Right, okay, one thing...
His Royal Majesty has instructed me to present you with this letter of commendation for your achievements in the name of the Empire.
So this is a regular reward that appears. I don't know if it appears at set time periods, or if it has any relation to your how well you are with a crown and such like that, but it usually pops up 3 or 4 times at the start of the game. I tend to, on the harder mode, I've been trying to pick mandate extension, because I do want to extend my colonial time, so I can actually build up my island before we move into the next era. So I'll take that one, and what I will do is, well, to start with, I'm going to put a road around my palace, because this is almost, it's like a central hub of the network. That will probably be there. What you can see, that's me there.
Entertain me.
Right, I think one thing I will do, because this is obviously a sort of builder progress game, we have science and research. And as with most builder progress games, the earlier you get the science going, the better really, because you get a sort of snowball effect. It doesn't really matter a great deal in the colonial era because you do very quickly run out of things to research. But especially for later on in the game, you want to be hitting the research as heavy as possible. I've got a new task.
Technological progress
Oh,
is the
excellent.
path to autonomy, Governor. We need more scientists to think important thoughts and discover new stuff.
So, nicely there, we've got a quest to build a library, and we are just building a library. I will receive more tasks if I build a library. I have noticed that sort of at various points it does give you quests to build buildings that you probably should be building, really. So if you're kind of new to the game, it kind of helps a lot in that sense. But it's best to be ahead of the curve rather than if it's telling you you're probably a little bit too late. Let's wait for that to build. Is that nearly done? What are we on? 78. Nearly there. Free to exported some goods. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, there we are. Right. So this means that we don't have enough people to actually work the building. Because if we go into here, what do we have? We have 3 college grade jobs, and we have nobody who's unemployed at all. So what I think I will
We
do...
are the shadows that move the world. We rule in secret. We are the salvation of mankind. We are the order, and you will be one of us.
So this is sort of, I guess it's like the secret society that secretly rules the world or something like that. And there'll be an overarching presence, especially in the early game, I think. And they give us our main goal for this chapter of the game, which is basically to declare independence. So when we declare independence, we actually win the mission, and then we've completed this chapter. So as I was saying, so this means there's not enough people to actually work the building. What I will do is there's one person's arrived, that's good. I'll invite some foreign workers. I don't tend to do this a lot because it's very expensive and I can't actually afford to invite the second one currently. But as I was saying, with the sort of science and research, as with most games, you kind of want to get it going as quickly as possible. Although somebody has actually come and filled it, so that'll be full in a moment, which is excellent. So we can now do some research, and I don't tend to bother with mines too much to start with, so I will avoid that. I think I will take cowboys first and then sickle, because that will give us upgrades to our ranches and upgrades to our plantations, and then, as you see, I need 2 more research to open up this tier, and then it will give us plenty of options to play around with afterwards. So did we have some people actually arrive in the... Look at them, look. Little teamsters going... Wow. So that little jingle bell, it's like a little bike bell, isn't it? Sounds tells you you've got a little task somewhere. So we have 2 tasks. Right, so a little note on the tasks that I've found. So you have 2 types of tasks. These ones...
Being able to stand on your own is a virtue I personally cherish. Self-sufficiency should be every country's goal.
So he basically just wants us to have 15,000 in the bank, which we will do eventually, so we'll take that as it is. And this is the other type of task.
His Majesty has commissioned the finest architects to design his new underwater home. We need your cash crops to pay for them.
Well, we should be exporting sugar anyway, so that's fine and dandy.
His
and
Majesty has
acceptable.
commissioned the...
Right, so the red ones I've noticed, they don't seem to expire. So if your quests are, I think you can have 5 quests usually. If you've got too many quests, you can avoid taking those for a while until you actually clear your quest log up. The blue ones, they do seem to disappear after a short period of time, so they're sort of time sensitive. Here we go, here's a red quest.
The burden of ruling twists our perception of humanity. To us, people are just a resource that has to be managed properly.
So he wants us to build 5 new country houses, which these little things over here. We got another little task.
The revolution is a struggle for freedom, and there are few as free as the pirates. We should befriend and learn from them.
So build a new tavern, which is, well, as you might have guessed, is an entertainment building. That will give us revolutionary support, which will help us to declare independence. So we will take that as well, and we will have a look at building that. So that will be in invite. There we go, tavern. So again, we've got the overlay, but this is beautification, I believe, this time. So the better it is, a nice beachside tavern. It's not over there. We'll have it. Can we get uneven terrain? We'll have it close to the docks because we know the dockers like some entertainment. Shall we say? I think that's the front. 118. That will do there.
I understand you are still struggling with trivial things like money. I will aid you this time, but remember, I offer my help only once.
So this is the thing, it almost encourages you to actually go into the red initially, invest in infrastructure and sort of stay in the red for a while, because if you stay, I assume, for sort of X amount of time, the secret society will come along and give you a free $10,000, which is helpful and
Someone
good.
stole my manuscript and published it under a pseudonym. It was an autobiographical story about two men on a mountain who want to form deep male bonds. They even stole the surrealistic chapter where fairies prance under a rainbow. The circumstances behind the theft are very queer.
References. Okay. Right, so we do have ranch upgrades now. So what I will do, did I? Yes, did. So we can go into one of our ranches and go in the upgrades menu, and we have cattle is very good because manure fertilisation, the effectiveness of every nearby plantation and hydroponics farm is increased by 10 based on the effectiveness, maximum 20. So I think we'll have that because that will make these plantations here work in a much better. Basically, we should see if we go into here, effectiveness. No, not yet. Maybe, possibly. Come and have a look later. We have upgraded it, haven't we? Yes. I think it takes a little bit of time. So we'll leave it at that. These certain buildings like houses and taverns and such like don't actually need roads, so you can kind of leave those. You don't actually connect on the roads.
Thanks to your efforts, the revolutionary movement is growing stronger.
Right, because we instigate some revolutionary support, we now, this is the sort of standard reward. I tend to import revolutionaries because it adds people and helps with your happiness or overall popularity towards independence.
Presidente, as you know, it is your will alone that keeps Tropico together. Without you, the entire island would crumble to dust and be lost forever.
Perhaps it's time to consider adding another member to your dynasty just to be on the safe side. I've done some research and discovered that you have around 37 cousins. We'll need some sort of test to narrow that number down a bit. Do you have any ideas? So I think this is basically to get my first heir. So I think which one you choose probably gives you decides on what sort of bonuses you possibly get from your heir, but what do you want? Let's go with synchronized
As the heir was
swimming.
born, all animals became quiet. A light shone through the skies, and La Chupacabra herself went to the crib and bowed to the infant. At least, that is what we will write in the history books.
Okay, so this is the perks that your new heir will get. These are actually global perks, so these will actually only come into play if you actually pass on the torch, really. But they do also have the opportunity to become managers in your buildings with perks related to this. And I think with that in mind, I want to go with mentor, because what that does is if you put it in a building, the buildings around it improves their production, if I remember right. Oh, interesting. Well, you can't choose your family, so we'll go with that. There we go. Right, so what have we got here? Money, declare independence. Let's have a look at unemployed. Oh, we do have some unemployed people. We've got an illiterate and a high school. So let's have a look what we can build. what gives what? Creamery. Well, if we get some milk, yeah. If you see, oh, you can't. Don't let me do it. Let me do it like that. Catholic Mission. It's library. There we go. Nope. It's not really. Well, if you have a look down where it says library there, then you see a little student's hat. And 3 stars, and that basically tells you the level of education. So that's got 3 stars. If we go down to plantation, that's got 1 star, so that's illiterate. The one thing that did confuse me to start with a little bit is if you notice you've got grade school. So if we go into here, so I thought that was 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars. Excuse me. But I think grade school is like kind of a special. I think they're like students effectively. So that's actually 1 star, and that's 2 stars, and that's 3 stars. So I had, before I figured that out, I was trying to provide jobs for the wrong type of education level. So it's good to make note of that. So where were we? We had so high school, and so I think what we'll do is if we produce something which produces milk, we do produce milk actually, don't we? Because we have cattle. So what I might do, that's over there. If we go to industry goods, creamery, and that'll produce some high school jobs. Produces cheese from milk. Let's put it in there, so it's nice and close to the milk production, as well as being close to the docks. Let's speed the game along a bit. If you notice there, I actually went into the red, and one thing I've noticed, let me just change this before I forget.
I say, being a crown colony is a kind of competition, one you are losing, old chap. The colonies of Puerto Coco and Isla Rojo are beating you badly.
Right, so as I was going to say, one of the things I've noticed is you can deliberately go up to $10,000 in debt. So if you've got something that's going to take you up to $10,000, you can actually buy it still. If it's going to take you over $10,000 in debt, you can't actually purchase it. There are exceptions sort of to that, such as this here. So I can either pay the extra tax, which is just $5,000 to the Treasury, which is sort of the default thing. I can don't pay, which basically means I annoy the Crown, which I kind of don't really want to do, especially not to 30 at the moment. Or I can pay double, which and get a 12 months mandate. As I've got to pay $5,000 anyway, it's $5,000 for a 12 months mandate. That will take me over the 10,000. But this is one of those exceptions, and I think it's worth it for the extra mandate. So we will go with that. Which means that we've now got to wait a little bit before we can actually do much. Did I upgrade that? No, didn't upgrade the...
Great news.
Oops.
While searching through the crates of colony supplies, we found a sickle. Now we have something that goes perfectly with our hammers. This will boost production sky high. I can almost see the glorious future.
Okay, so we've now got plantation upgrades, but as we haven't really got any money, I don't think we'll be playing with those at the moment, but we can do some research. Right, I'll take foreman because that allows us to put managers in buildings, which gives various perks. I'll do planks because that's our next. You obviously have your base production buildings, which are things like grow things like cattle or tobacco or corn, and then you obviously have your processing buildings, which are sort of the next step, and that gives us the lumber mill, which is another next step building. I think we can only have the creamery and the lumber mill in the colonial era. What do we need there? 3 more technologies for the next tier, because I'm still not bothered in mines. So we'll go with military fort as well there then. Let's have a look. What's the money doing? Got ships incoming. Export meat to the West India Company. Immigrants incoming. Okay. So you can see I expect the revenue of the next ship to come in,
His Royal Majesty has instructed me to present you with this letter of commendation for your achievements in the name of the Empire.
Oh no, I think I got that for maybe doing something for the crown, because one of my quests disappeared there. So I'm going to take this additional mandate extension again, as is my usual way of things. We've got 3 extra citizens, so let's have a look at the unemployed status. So nice little spread again. Did the creamery fill up? Yes, the creamery did fill up. Oh, and I was going to. Got interrupted doing that. Do that there. So, I think, let's just pause it for a moment. I think on that note, I think we will leave it there for now. It seems enough for the first episode. So, I hope you enjoyed yourself. I seem to have enjoyed myself, and I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you very much for joining me, and goodbye.